I do want to go back to that whole Jay-Z notion or whatnot. I
Yeah, go
think
ahead.
that when you talk about the type of numbers that 50 Cent was doing, even on the Massacre, he did 1 million in a week. Remember when Jay-Z was really making it a point to do 1 million in a week? He never did that. You know what
No,
I'm saying? After volume 2, he would always talk up this million in a week thing, million in a week thing. It never happened. 50
I
went out there and not only did 10 million from New York, from Queens, New York, Southside Jamaica, did 10 million on Get Rich or Die Trying. And the Massacre did 1 million in a week. That's not a good look if you outside and you Jay and you're continuously working. You know what I'm saying? He was like, listen, let me fall back a couple years. Let me let this die down a little bit. Because miraculously, when all that died down, in '06 he came back.
so what I would submit to you is the same thing that I've been submitting, and I
It's
was
smart
never
though. Let
being.
me just say that by the way. Yeah.
I was no, I understand. I was never being like. I was never trying to slight Jay when I said this, but I'm going to say this again. Well, 50's strength is his hit making ability.
Oh yeah.
That is not Jay's strength. Jay's strength is actually the same strength as Nas's strength, which actually his B-side album records, he just doesn't do it as well. He's not the hit maker you all think that he is, because his biggest album got to 5 million because he took a hook from Ja Rule. It got put on a soundtrack. That album is going to do about 2 or 3 million without that song. Okay, so
Volume
he's
two is
not.
a very collaborative, heavy album. Some would consider it a compilation. That's the word I
But
was
what I'm
looking for.
trying to say is that his real fan base, his real core fan base, Mike, the people that really love Jay and follow Jay,
Mm-hmm.
those are the people that like Dead Presidents, Friend or Foe,
Dead
Street
President's my favorite
Project,
J record.
Imaginary Player,
Yeah.
Can't Rhyme No More, A Million and One Questions, You Must Love Me. His core following is not the ain't no nigga, Can I Get Her? No, it's not. Because if it was, he would have done 50 type numbers. He's not that vein of hitmaker. 50's core audience are the people who like In the Club and 21 Questions and Wankster, because that's what 50 provides. Jay does not provide that like that. Okay?
Yeah. And 50 knows how to make a hit. And the other thing about that, to piggyback on what you're saying, 50 can make these hits without collaborations,
The
right?
Massacre
And
had
and when
bangers. The
and when
Massacre.
Jay and when Jay makes hit records, a lot of the times it's collaborations. You know what I'm saying? His first #1 record was Empire State of Mind. A lot of people who are Jay fans don't really love that record, but even with that record, it was the
I'm not
power of
saying
that chorus from Alicia Keys, and she didn't even write that. This song was pretty much packaged, gift, hand wrapped, and given. He just had to put the verses down.
no, I'm not saying Leroy Green just made a comment. He's like, but Jay got hits too. No, Jay has hits. But what I'm saying is that he played a game that really wasn't suited to his strong suits. He's never been the hit maker that Big and Pac or even 50 was.
And he
That's
should
not
have
his
never
strong suit.
centered around. He should have never centered it around
That's
numbers.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He's the guy when he's talking about me and my homie started out code D, picked the mailbox lock, cause I ain't have no key. Had the cable with the anchor when Jazz made Sophie, but when I went low key, but now I'm back. It's on, motherfuckers. That's the guy we love. That's what his core fan base look like. His core fan base is not the guy on Sunshine talking about body crazy, tits firm like Nature Foxy, Nas, and AZ. That's not his core following. And
you
that's not
know,
his core strength.
and I think that mindset, and I think that's part of his business mindset slash artist mindset. It's why the Blueprint has ineffective moments. He didn't trust the records on the Blueprint themselves without having to get Eminem for Renegade or without having to get a song that sounded like everything else with Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga
No, he
and
had to get
Ola
a track from
Ovito.
Timbaland.
Like he should have trust that okay, you don't know. He didn't think You Don't Know was gonna be big. He didn't. He should trust what he does very well, but he didn't trust that he was riding trends and it messed up some of his albums and its consistency. I was listening to the Unplugged while we were on the road, the Jay-Z Unplugged album. And you know what song he did for an encore? And I forgot he did this. He did Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga for an encore. He thought that was hot. He was really pushing that that song is the worst song on that album by far. And it's like of all the records on that album, because it sounded like Fiesta or whatever, or stuff that was going on at the time for Trackmasters, he was like, you know what, let me do this. It was chasing a hit when it's like you said, the best version of Jay is not the hits, and he knows that. He's ahead. That's why he's always pushing the B-sides when people talk versus stuff, because his B-sides are his best records, and that would give him the best chance of the verses. The L Web 100 says, I think Kendrick is a victim of his of the streaming era. Literally, no rapper makes hits or bangers anymore.
So that's what I mean is that so Jay came along in a time where it's like, well, the guys that rhymed the best were the stars. Like there was a time where it's like, well, if you rhymed the best, you were the stars. So Jay comes from that era.
He said that on that phone call. It's funny you say that, and I know you didn't hear the whole phone call, but he said something like that.
Oh, yeah, he comes from that era. It's like, no, the point is to rhyme the best. The guys that rhymed the best got the notoriety. Mm-hmm. And so he's looking at himself in 96 at 27 years old. These dudes that are 3 or 4 years younger than him are already rhyming better than him. So he's playing catch up to a younger peer group. And that's what I mean. And what I'm saying, he's never going back to that place in his ego and in his mind of having to do that again, because he's Jay now. And so when he's seeing 50 and Ye coming and he's hearing the music and all that stuff, no, it is better to fall back. That's part of what makes him so wise as a businessman. I don't totally disagree with the move, because his ego take it. He being honest about his ego not being able to take it, Mike. It's like, no, I can accept that. I can accept the man being honest about his ego.
LP with the super chat says Jay got 24 Grammys and only 4 are solo. I mean, those are just facts. Nas the GOAT says 50 ain't selling like that without M and Dre. I mean, we could say that, and that's probably true, but the fact is, he's not the only artist ever that's had M and Dre either. And he was able to make the most of it. We can't knock him for that.
No, we can't.
DeCarlo with the super chat says, I remember fans saying that Jay was also old too around the time 50 dropped. I believe he was losing the younger generation, being that he was closer to 40. And I think there was an attempt, too, to get people to kind of catch up to him, right? Because this is when he took away the jerseys. You know, I don't wear jerseys. I'm 30 plus. Give me a fresh pair of jeans, nigga, button up. And I guess everybody wasn't latching on to that. It was like, you know what? Let me step away for a minute.
Hold on. What he said to that? It's dot on my feet to make my what? Make my cipher complete. Okay.
The L Web 100 says the best Jay can do right now is release American Gangster 2. Well, you know what? We haven't even gotten into that, but I don't know what Jay can release right now. My mind is boggled. Unless, we got an Alchemist album. I know you guys say Alchemist the answer for everything. I don't know what Jay can release right now.
I mean, he's Jay, so he can essentially release what he wants. I just don't like how he's starting to contextualize and remember things and pitch it to a new generation about how these things have unfolded and happened. And no, I didn't get shook. I'll keep Jeezy. I'm just saying the way y'all are taking about 50, it makes me want to take Wayne. Because I'm going to tell you what, if I take Wayne, I'm washing that ass.
Well, yeah. Wayne's tough.
Mike, you know what time it is. If I take Wayne, Mike probably ain't going to want to do it because he's going to be like, I don't stand a chance. Because he don't. If you don't stand a chance. Wayne got a lot. Mad Max in the super chat says, Mad Max says, Empire State of Mind is whack. Nobody from NY considers that the NY anthem, LOL. My generation rocking with Bobby Computers as our anthem. Pop Smoke, Dior. Got More Love. Yeah, I mean, Okay.
No, that's real. I mean, we were talking to Jar from Rap Roundtable about it. People in New York really don't take well to that record. I guess I could compare it to how I feel about Welcome to Atlanta by Jermaine Dupri. Like, that's a tourist anthem, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a real anthem, a real indicator.
They
of the
don't
city.
play that in the city.
Yeah, we don't be playing that down here.
People outside the city who might be coming to Atlanta play that shit.
We're in the club for the people that come in the city to think that's what we play. Like, we
Nah,
don't
yeah,
play.
I ain't playing that.